Hey YouTube, Madam Roy back once again. Well, as you can see, I'm in my kitchen, and this is not going to be a cooking video. Sorry guys, you have to wait a couple more days at least for that. But what I'm going to be doing in this video is, we're going to be talking a little bit about the Keurig. Specifically, we are going to be, if you can read that, descaling the Keurig. Now this is a little overdue. As most of you guys know, I got this about a year ago, and you're supposed to do this every 6 months, but because one, it's filtered, and two, I always change the filters on a regular basis. I wasn't too worried about having any long-term effects, but 10 months in, it's definitely time to do this. So let's go over what you're going to need. First, you're going to need some vinegar, and this has got to be distilled white vinegar with no scent whatsoever. Now, the book says you're going to need 48 ounces of this, but I know from experience you're only going to use really about half of that. They just say that because, of course, they want to help out the vinegar manufacturers. You're also going to need a large mug. I have this glass mug I picked up at Dollar Tree a couple years ago. I use it to drink my coffee with in the morning. This will work just fine. And then the very last thing is just access to your kitchen sink, which in my case is right down here. So we are good to go. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, now that we're at the Keurig, first thing I need to do is remove the lid. Pops off just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and take out the water reservoir. Now, one thing to note, if you have a Keurig like mine, you're going to need to go ahead and remove the filter assembly. So I'm going to take this over to the sink, and we're just going to dump out the rest of the water that's in there. Now, it's pretty easy to remove the filter assembly. It's this right here. All you have to do is twist it either left or right, and just kind of work it, and it'll pull right out of there just like that. And of course the filter is housed right in here. I just changed that, so I'm not going to have to do anything with that right now. Now, according to the book, the very next thing we need to do here is disable the auto off feature. Well, I don't really need to do that because I know for a fact it doesn't turn off until around 8 o'clock. So that's going to give us plenty of time. But if yours is set to turn off like around 6 or 7 and it's 5 o'clock now, then you want to go ahead and turn that feature off. Now what it says to do is go ahead and take your vinegar and place about 48 ounces. Again, we're only going to use about half of that. We're still going to use pretty much all of that's in here though. So we're going to go ahead, open this up here, and just pour it in. Alright, and as you can see, it's about 3/4 of the way. They really want you to fill to the top, but like I said, there's really no point to that. That's pretty much overkill. So I'm going to go ahead and put the lid back on and install it into the Keurig machine. Again, this is the K79 brewer. Now, go ahead and put the mug under here. We're going to go ahead and start cycling it through. Now it says, place a mug under there. Make sure, of course, you do not have any K-Cups in there. So we're going to go ahead and remove the one that I had a few minutes ago. And we're going to go ahead and push the brew button. Once it's closed, go ahead and push brew. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to repeat this process until the water level indicator starts blinking. And then, of course, it won't let us brew anymore. But as you can see, now you guys can't smell this, but the vinegar is going through there. And it's actually not looking too bad right now. It's actually pretty clean, but again, this is definitely a good idea to do every 6 months or so, depending on how clean the water is in your area. Alright, And this is the finished product from the first one. As you can see, it's actually pretty clear, but if you start looking in here, you can see that there is some brownness to it, and that is what the desalination is going to do. It's going to go ahead and clean all the internal components of this machine and hopefully make it last a little longer. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this in the sink. And all we're going to do is go ahead and repeat that process. Alright, I think we're on our last cup here. One thing to note with the Keurig, every time it's done brewing a cup, even in this, you have to go ahead and open this and close it again. It'll say that it's ready to brew up here. You won't actually be able to brew anything until you do that because, of course, it thinks you're just making a regular cup of coffee. Should be the last one right there. I think the light will start blinking after this. And I could tell already that it's getting much clearer. As you can see, the first couple of cups were kind of brown and had some gunk in it. And this looks crystal clear. And there you go. The light has started blinking, showing me that there is nothing else I can do because it's too low to brew anymore. So go ahead and take this last cup of vinegar. Go ahead and dump that into the sink. And that is all we can do for right now. The book says we have to let it sit just like this for about 4 hours. So 4 hours from now, I'll go ahead and finish this up with you guys. So stay tuned, everybody. Alright, so it's been a good 4 or 5 hours. It's now 9:30 at night. As you can see, it is dark out. The next thing we got to do is go ahead and empty the rest of this vinegar out. And yes, whew, that is definitely straight vinegar. So we're going to go ahead, dump this. I'm going to go ahead and rinse it out a little bit. Still smells a little vinegar, but we're going to go ahead and fill this up. Now while that's filling, I'm going to go ahead and get my mug. Same mug we used to run the vinegar through before. Go ahead and remove that. Go ahead and put that underneath. And this is just about there. I'm going to go ahead and try not to spill this. Got to go ahead and put this back in the Keurig. Put the lid back on. And now what we're going to do is go ahead and run this entire thing of water through here just like we did the vinegar. Again, you have to open this up and close it to activate your Keurig, and then just press the brew button. And what this is going to do is this is going to filter all the rest of that nasty vinegar out of the system. You know, you don't want that in the taste of your coffee. And since it's been sitting for about 4 or 5 hours, I'm kind of curious to see if any other junk comes out of there. It's actually looking pretty clean. I'm actually a little surprised. I was thinking that because the vinegar is actually sat in the system for about 5 hours, we get a little bit more, just some junk out of this. Alright, that's first cups out. Let's go ahead and, I'm going to smell this real quick and see if there's a lot of vinegar that was actually in there. Oh yeah, this almost smells like straight vinegar even though it's definitely diluted with some water. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and I'll let you know the result in just a couple of minutes. Alright, we're down to about 1/4 on that, and I'll be honest with you, if I put my nose right up to it, I can still smell a lot of vinegar, so I kind of have a hunch we're going to have to do another run through this. Let's see, if you look at the book, it actually tells you to, let's see, ensure the reservoir is filled with water. Place a large mug. Repeat brew process until add water is indicated. There we go. You might need to perform additional cleaning brews if you notice a residual taste. So I think what I'm going to wind up doing with this is run 2 full containers of this. So I'll let you guys know. Alright, so I had to run 2 full containers of this. And this is what's left over. So actually almost 2 full containers. So I'm going to go ahead and dump the rest of that residual water that I didn't need. The smell is pretty good right now. Now don't forget, if you do have one of the filters like this, you'll have to go ahead and put that back in. And again, you put it in at an angle. It's not the easiest thing, especially for somebody like me with big hands. So I'm going to try to do it like this. Put it in, and then you're just going to go ahead, let's try to go like this, and then I'm going to go ahead and twist it and make sure that it's securely in there, and it is. So next thing to do is go ahead and fill this back up with fresh water. And we can go ahead and take the mug out for now. And again, there's your max fill line, which is right up there. But that's good enough for this purpose. So go ahead and take this, put it back into the Keurig. Going to go ahead and put that lid back on, and we are almost done. The very last thing I need to do, because it sucked up the last bit of water before I pulled this reservoir off, and that's unfiltered water because the filter was off. I'm going to go ahead and run it through one other time just to go ahead and get rid of that residual unfiltered water. And that is it, guys. So this is how you, according to the book, descale your Keurig. In this case, it's a K79 K-Cup Brewer, but this should work for many other models as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.